Good evening, everyone. I'm just running a few minutes behind schedule, so I apologize for that. There it is. I had written down all of my specs for the stuff tonight, and then I lost my piece of paper, which actually is just turning out to be right in front of me. Isn't that always the way, huh? All right. Well, I hope everybody had a good weekend. We had some hot but nice weather here in Wisconsin, and my family spent most of the weekend up on Castle Rock Lake in that area and had a great time. Did a little boating. My middle one loves his boat rides, and that is the sole purpose of when he wants to go up there and do stuff. It's to take a boat ride. Okay, let me see. I'll wait just a little bit just to make sure I see people hopping on before we get into stuff a lot. All right, so let me see here. Just a reminder, the Designer Series paper sale is ending soon. It goes through the end of the month. And any of the Designer Series papers that start on page 129 and go through 132 are 15% off. So that's really a great deal. Love it that there's some are 12 by 12, some are 6 by 6. Great variety of styles and patterns. You should be able to find and just about anything that you like within those papers there. So again, that paper sale ends on the 30th, right? It's at the end of July. The last day of July. Let's just call it that. I'm forgetting my calendar right now. All right. So again, 129 to 132 of the annual catalog. If you don't have one of these, I can send you a link to view it online if you want to do that really quickly. And if you want a hard copy, just shoot me your address and I will pop one in the mail to you. These are, it's a great resource, done not just obviously for looking at what you can purchase, but resource for inspiration, color combinations, all kinds of great stuff. And it goes through April 2024. So still lots of time left on that one. All right, so because of the Designer Series paper sale, I have been sharing different ones with you guys all month long here. Today, I'm going to be using the one called Glorious Gingham. So it's a 6 by 6 piece. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you tonight. So these are a 6 by 6 sheet, and there's 2 gingham patterns. So obviously, this one's a little more white, more of what you might think is a true gingham. And then this one you can see is a little bit more plaid-like. That's less. And the white is less intense, so you see more of the solid color. So it comes in Blueberry Bushel, and I should have grabbed these out ahead of time. Here's the next one. Lemon Lime Twist, and then Pretty Peacock, and then Berry Burst. Oh, I'll need one of those. And last but not least, Pecan Pie. So great selection of colors in here. The Peacock and the Pecan, you can get very much of like a fall vibe there. These brighter ones would be great for your birthday cards, your summer projects. Hi, Tina. Good to see ya. Well, you know what I mean. So again, these are 6 by 6, and you get a total of, where's my number? 40 sheets. So you're getting, so there's 5 colors, 40 sheets, so you're getting 8 of each one, right? If I'm doing my math correctly. So that is your color palette for what's in there. And again, double-sided. The other side is all of that little smaller check that's a little more obviously more white prominent, I guess I should say, on that side. Now, coincidentally enough, those colors, except for the Pecan Pie, coordinate nicely with this tinsel pack of gems. So in here, you've got your Lemon Lime, your Berry Burst, your Blueberry, and your Peacock. So you could have some bling that really matches well with all of those ginghams in just one shot here. So that's kind of cool. And again, that's the Tinsel Gems 4-pack, meaning 4 colors. All right, so you'll see some of those items prominently through the samples I'm making tonight, just to show you guys what that all looks like. Okay, let me make sure I've got adhesive. There it is. Okay, I've got adhesive. You're going to want to have a scissor handy. We're going to do a little trimming of some extra cardstock once we're putting it all together. You may or may want dimensionals. That's up to you. And then if you haven't already made your focal point, why don't you kind of get that going while we still wrap up some discussion here. So here is what you needed. Tonight is a piece of cardstock 4 1/4 by 11, and you score it at 5 1/2. This is Berry Burst. A piece of DSP that's 3 by 5. So again, I'm using the Berry Burst color from the Glorious Gingham collection. Yep, Glorious Gingham. I always get that a little messed up. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Neutral cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4. That's for the inside. If you want to add anything in there later, I just assumed everybody's going to probably have a darker piece of cardstock here. You're going to want that on the inside. And then a piece that's 3/4 inches by 5. And you want some kind of small phrase that's going to fit the width of that. All right, speaking of my phrase, I think I need to put that on. Yep, I do. I need to put that on my block yet. And that's the thing I forgot to bring over. There's always one thing, guys. Isn't there? Always one thing that forgets to walk all the way over to my camera space with me. Oh my goodness. All right. So there's my phrase. I'm going to be featuring 2 stamp sets throughout tonight. The first one is the Sweetest Cherries. And that one has a matching punch. So it's called the Cherry Builder. That makes a lot of sense, right? So you've got these cherry pieces here. That will punch out from there. The stem comes from there, and then that little leaf will go in either one of those spots right there. If you make your pieces small enough to fit through, you can do each individual piece that way without giving up a lot of extra wasted cardstock is what I'm trying to say. There we go. So for example, I did a couple of my pieces here, so I'm just going to slide my cherry piece in there, pop him out. And then I'm going to, this is what I forgot to do before. Since these guys are side by side, I'm going to cut up a little bit so that I can separate those two. And then I can use the pieces at the top without doing a whole lot of rigmarole. Okay, so the stem piece is going to go in here first. Lining it up. Now you can, of course, this Build-A-Part can absolutely be used with just plain colored cardstock. So you could take, a red or a pink color, punch out the cherry, green to punch out your leaves, a brownish color for your stem. You don't have to stamp them first, but you can if you want to. All right, and now my cardstock's falling apart. And here is my leaf. Now I'm going along with the Berry Burst color, obviously, so my cherry is a little darker than you might normally see on a cherry, but I think it's kind of cute. And then I use the Pretty Peacock for the leaf because the tone seems to feel right with the tone of the ink colors play well and nice together there, I think. So so it's a Berry Burst cherry and a Pretty Peacock leaf. And then the pecan pie is my stem. Okay, so grab your phrase. And I'll show you the other stamp set when I get through my samples. So remember, Sweetest Cherries and the Cherry Builder are what we're working with. So grab your phrase, and I want my Berry Burst ink pad. All right, the one I'm using here, this is a little bit of a phrase builder as well. You can say, thank you for being so sweet. Life is sweet with you in it. Wishing you a sweet day, or, if you have a sweet friend. All kinds of things you can build that up with. And then this is kind of a cute little wicker pattern that you could do for like a basket or something. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get to stamping. Okay, here is my birthday wishes in my Berry Burst ink. Leave just a little bit on the edge, not a whole lot. You don't need too much, but leave a little bit on the edge because we're going to end up cutting a little bit of that off. And I want you to make sure that you're not losing any of your phrase. Okay, so let's go ahead and start assemble. Let's do our cardstock in half. Nice burnish with your bone folder. If you want to stamp on this right away, go ahead and then you can put it on the inside. So I'll just show you where it's going to go. Should be pretty self-explanatory, but here is your 4 1/4 piece on the inside. So, or 4 by 5 1/4, I should say. All right, now here we're going to do a little bit of building and layering with these pieces here. Now you can decide where you want to start this piece. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to make an angle. Now you want to make sure that the DSP stays on the card. So like if I did this, you can see those corners aren't gonna line up. And when I cut stuff off, you're gonna have a piece of this down here showing. So you want smooth edges. So you could start by putting one corner over here and then play around with this until you have an angle that you like. So you can have a slight angle or you can have a really big angle. You can start it directly down in the corner or up a little higher. And then whatever you do with that, this is going to marry that. So keep that in mind as you go up. You want to have room for that extra 3/4 of an inch to go on there. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So do a little adhesive on the back of your DSP piece. This one I'm going to start up a little bit, like so. And like I said, again, you can play with, you can match the corners perfectly if you want. That makes it pretty easy to keep track of. And then your birthday, or well, you might have a birthday, I don't know the phrase. Your 3/4 of an inch piece is gonna go on top of that. And again, we want it to go off the edges and just butt it up with that piece of Designer Series paper, okay? And then when you open it up, you can see here are the parts that we are gonna trim off. So it should be a pretty easy cut. You just follow the edge of your cardstock base, or if you want to line that up in your paper trimmer, you can slice through that as well. Whatever feels the best to you. All right, there we go. And done. Okay, so there is the basic part of my card front. Get all those schnibbles out of the way. All right, now for my focal point, I grabbed the pieces of the cherry builder, and I'm gonna go ahead and put those together. Got a little bit of my green glue, so I'm gonna do just a little bit of dot right there. Very little dot. And the stem of the cherry is gonna fit right into there. So hold that down for a second. All right, and then I'm gonna do my leaf over on this side here. Like so. All right, so there is my cherry all assembled. So now here's where you can decide if you want to pop it up or not. It's gonna go basically in this empty space off to the side of your phrase. Okay, I'll do this one direct down so that you can see what that looks like. And as I go through the samples, you'll see where I have done that a little differently. Oh dear, I ripped my leaf right off. Silly thing. It's because my glue is still a little wet. All right, there we go. And then I think, just to be safe, I'm gonna put a tiny bit of glue on the top of the stem and hold that down for a second. And that way when it goes in and out of an envelope, it won't get cut off or torn off or anything like that. All right, guys, there's the basic layout. You can play with this additionally too if you don't want it to be quite this wide. Just pick a little bit narrower part, or if you want to split this up, put the phrase between. You can change up the look of something like that. But it's a nice way to use a good size piece of Designer Series paper to let that make the focal points, or the most focal point part of your card front. Okay, so again, what I'm featuring tonight is Sweetest Cherries. And then the other one is this one called Silly Goose. And that's one that, it's if you like to color, there's coloring here because it's a line art set. And then it's kind of what I call a punny set, because you've got a silly goose told me it's your birthday, this silly goose forgot, sending a big honk and thank you, you know, that kind of thing. So you've got a little bit of punny humor throughout that one. But I haven't used him yet, and I wanted to pull him out and start working with him. I love the cherries, Kathy, right? Oh my gosh, they're so cute. So in fact, I have another one right here. As you can see, this time I did this, and this is the blueberry bushel, and I used the other side of the gingham, so it's a little bit more, with the more prominent white showing through. Still use my birthday wishes. Changed this up. This is Poppy Parade, and what color did I use on green? Oh, that's the wrong one. I used, pretty sure it's Granny Apple Green. All of the colors and everything will be listed in the pictures when I post them, but I'm pretty sure that's Granny Apple Green. And again, I've got those gems from the Tinsel Gem 4-pack going on there. And you can see this one I did pop up, so he's sticking off of my cardstock a little bit. And I believe that's Crumb Cake on his stem right there. I'm not sure why I'm assigning them masculine pronouns here, but okay. Then I saw someone take this one idea. So what they've done here is they've turned it more into an apple than a cherry. And that's just by shortening up how much stem you're showing. That was it. That was so simple. So I did, this one is the Lemon Lime Twist. And I did stamp this in Granny Apple Green because, you know, it's called Granny Apple Green for a reason, right? And then, like I said, when you do the stem, you just don't show as much. You just, you know, put it down further. Again, the gems, my thank you phrase from there. I've shown you guys the masking technique before, but I'll just remind you. So you can see it says thank you for being so. Basically, all I did was I covered this part up when I inked it. Took off the thing, the tape or the Post-it, whatever I was using to cover it up. And then just that thank you is inked up, and you can just separate it with that. Now, the other thing I did here, you can see there's a lot of extra stuff going on here. I took my black marker and a ruler, and I just split the difference of all the different white squares and colored, you know, did my straight line to make it more of a plaid, more obvious plaid image in there. So that added a little pop of an additional color, and I think the lemon lime and the black really play nicely with each other. All right, now we're going to switch over to the Silly Goose. So here is my Pretty Peacock base, card base. You can see here I added another little piece of white down here at the bottom of the DSP. I've got my goose punched out of a 2-inch circle, and then this is the decorative circle. The 2-inch circle punch layers really nicely in that, as you can see. And it's got kind of a fun border with those little scallops and stuff. And then I wanted his balloon to be a little bit more prominent, so I stamped the balloon directly onto Pretty Peacock cardstock, cut it out, and then colored it in with Wink of Stella, so it's really, really sparkly. And then I just placed it over where the balloon part would be if I had used the whole stamp. So you can see he's got the balloon in his hand. And so, like I said, I stamped him in the circle so that that part would be off the circle part, and then I just did it again, a little fussy cut. Pretty easy. It's an oval shape, so not too bad. And then that added just a little bit of dimension and sparkle. All right, last one for these samples here. So again, here's my Silly Goose with his sending a big honkin' thanks. This is the pecan pie, and I wanted to take a little of the starkness out of it, so I went over it with my blending brush and pecan pie ink. And then I also used my pecan pie blend on the white and black gingham ribbon to make it pecan and black ribbon. You just take the brush end of the blend and you go across with it like a paintbrush style. Don't go straight down on the tip because that'll break up the fibers and you won't want to mess those up. I did fussy cut him out, but he's not too bad either. So I just thought that was kind of a cute addition to that one there. All right, let's go back to the original one that we did on camera, and then I will show you how I beefed it up a little bit. So like the other one that you saw where I added a little bit of white, this one I added a little bit of black cardstock to each side. So there's a little black border between the DSP and the white. I used both parts of the cherry. So as you can see, one of them looks like it has a little bite out of it already. So I did both of them. They both still fit through the punch. You just have to cut out that little arc with the scissor because it's going to punch the whole cherry. But that's an easy fussy cut there. And then I just added them onto a black circle so they kind of stood off the page a little bit more. Hi, Mary Lynn. Good to see you tonight. So that is, and again, I got those gems. So I used all 4 colors. Oh, no, I didn't put a gem on the peacock one. I did. But you can see the other ones here. So there's the blueberry, the lemon lime, and the berry burst. And then, of course, there's peacock in here as well. These are so pretty and sparkly. And they're kind of the shape of our pearls, if you know what that looks like. So they're not really like they're sequins where you've got those little dents and stuff, or rhinestones. They're a smooth half arc circle kind of thing. I hope that made sense. Okay, so let's lay all of these out. So here is my on camera and my stepped up version. Here's our cute little apple. And then of course I've got a couple of cherries and then our Silly Gooses. All right, I will have photos of these up in the albums on my Facebook page shortly tonight here. And again, all the colors will be listed in there so you'll know exactly what I used to do each color, all that kind of stuff, where you can find them in the catalog, all that kind of great stuff. So I think that is all of it for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoy this layout. And like I said, a couple suggestions if you want to change the angles that these are at, divide them up with the phrase in the middle. Like you see this one here, I dropped it down a little bit so you can play with the stacking these layers together however you like. I think I did all of them. You're welcome, Kathy. I really liked this layout, and I would love for you guys to take a picture of what you made and share it with me on the post where the video can be found. We want to see everything you guys are doing with these layouts. It'd be really fun. Okay, so again, reminder, the DSP sale goes through the end of the month. The papers are 15% off. One's from page 129 to 132. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your night and a great week. And we've got kind of a holiday weekend almost coming up next time. I don't know if I'll be live on Monday night or if it'll be pre-recorded. We will be up at the lake again, but I can probably, if my internet's working fine enough, I can probably still do it live. But we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you posted. So everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next time.